Yes, it's okay.
Okay, great. So, wow, a lot of big news with that email that you sent me.
Okay, did you get it? Yeah, I only
Yep.
sent it yesterday, so I'm glad you got it.
Yep, I read it. So that's like the DHEA, it's just kind of like figuring out like what's going to work, right? So I mean, a little bit of hormones can like make a huge impact, especially when you've been depleted probably for many like decades probably. So I mean, that little bit is just, that's pretty awesome. And then I also looked at your glucose, and that is, your glucose levels are really, I mean, it's pretty astonishing, like what you've done with your glucose.
Is that okay? I'm sticking to the original diet still. I've only added rice and some fruit. Basically, that's all. And besides that, I'm still doing the vegetables and meat and salad.
Yeah.
So I haven't really added anything else. I haven't picked up much weight, but my muscle tone and my skin tone seem to be improving quite remarkably. I feel stronger, and my skin isn't as thin. It feels, and I don't bruise as quickly as I used to. So that really feels like a big improvement. But weight-wise, I'm still a little bit on the skinny side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty, every time I see it, it's just like, I mean, I just get goosebumps every time I get on these calls. I like getting on these calls because you've been have such a turnaround with your case.
Yes, yeah. I'm very relieved not to have that extreme pain.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what I would tell you with your diet is, at this point, I think you could probably, start introducing some things that you like and just monitor your glucose levels and just see if they're spiking up. And, I mean, I would tell you for surely, like, don't go back to gluten. Gluten's really bad. But, I tell you, like, you've come like a huge 180. So at this point, you can try and like custom tailor on what you think is good and bad for your body, because at the end of the day, you're going to know your body, better than anybody. So, that's would be my suggestion. If you wanted to start incorporating more foods that you haven't been eating, I would just go slow and incorporate it and see if you have a reaction. You're going to know, like, for example, if you eat, are you eating dairy right now, or are you consuming any kind of, what are you?
I'm not fond of dairy. I've never liked dairy, but I have butter and a bit of cream.
Okay.
Yeah, and I have sugar. I have only sugar in my tea, which is a teaspoon of sugar in a cup of tea, about 4 times a day.
Yeah.
But I do wake up. We listened to one of your
podcasts
videos, and it was about pain.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I just did that. Yeah.
And there you mentioned about if you wake up a certain time at night and you're always waking up, it could be due to a drop of sugar, your sugar levels. I always wake up at 2:30, around about 2:30, and I wake up with a headache. I feel sort of odd in my head, actually. It feels, I can't say it aches, but it hurts. It's very uncomfortable, especially down at the lower part of the brain. And if I get up, I'm dizzy, and I feel a bit drunk. Okay. I could say, yeah. I don't know what could be causing that. I do still take the sleeping tablets, and I do still take painkillers, which, for the discomfort of the length of time that I could say that I'm awake. If I'm 3 hours awake, then I start getting uncomfortable in my body. Usually starts with a bit of pain in the lower back. and in the bladder area, and it feels like an electric current that comes up to the chest, and then I get that anxiety, panicky type feeling in my chest. And then I get this funny headache, which is not really a headache, but it feels dizzy.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and I don't know if perhaps the hormones had something to do with it. When I got the hormones first, I took the whole capsule,
Mm-hmm.
10 milligrams, and that I took that for 3 days, and I had very bad headaches. So I cut it back to a third. But I don't know if that could be the cause of this feeling in the head, because that is more recent, whereas that was more in the body and the pain in the legs and the back, but not so much in the head, and dizzy, very dizzy feeling. We have moved to an area with a higher altitude. We don't know if that could also have any effect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's possible for sure. I would tell you, are you eating before you go to bed? Are you eating something?
No, yes, I usually would have a rice cake and a cup of tea.
Okay. So a strategy that you might want to do, because the rice cake and the cup of tea with the sugar then, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a pretty high glycemic food. So your blood sugar can go up and then crash right away. What I try and have you do is eat something that had more protein and fat before you go to bed, because that could stabilize your blood sugar levels. And then two, what I would try and do is just like, if you wake up, just take your blood sugar and just see what it's at.
Okay.
Have you done that? Have you taken it like at 2 a.m.?
Not at 3 o'clock in the morning. No, not.
Okay.
But when I wake up, it seems to be quite normal.
Yeah.
But I haven't taken that at 2:30 in the morning. I haven't done that. I'll do that.
Yeah. So I would just try that, and I would just change up the thing that you go to bed with, the snack or whatever you call it right before bed, and then see if you get some changes on that. And as far as the weight gain, it just comes down to, eating more food, and maybe what are some foods that you're avoiding right now that you would like to eat?
Nuts.
Okay.
And well, I would like to. What would I like to eat? I've got so used to not having any cakes or any of those sort of bad things that potato chips.
Well, what I was thinking is more incorporating, like, not potato chips, but maybe like, trying to eat some nuts. I mean, if you've been avoiding nuts, almonds, cashews, start there. I would start with that, and then just incorporate some more of that in there, and just see if you have a reaction. Sometimes they have the lectins in there, these nuts do, so people can be sensitive to that. So, but you just now Martha, you have, like, you're in tune to your body, so you'll be able to know, like within a couple of days, like, are you sensitive to this? Do you have more pain? Do you have more inflammation? Brain fog? You're going to know that right away. And then you're like, okay, I can't eat that food. And then, so this is kind of like where you're at this point, in my opinion. I think you're kind of like refining some of the things, and some things is there just might be some like permanency problems there that you're just like kind of managing there. Like that's just the condition is there's some permanency involved with that. And then it's just trying to manage that and figure that out.
Yeah. I was thinking of increasing the magnesium. My gut, I go from, I don't think that's completely balanced yet, because I seem to go from loose stools to constipation. And so I thought perhaps I should increase the magnesium.
You could. I'm just writing some notes here. Are you sipping that? Are you doing the IV protocol?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What I do is, can you guys get, what might help this is if you can, I'm just looking at your notes, see if I recommend, did I ever recommend like powder fiber?
No,
Okay.
we haven't.
Yeah, I'm just looking at this. So you got the collagen. So what I would do is, there's a product in the States here, but it's just fiber in it's powder form fiber. And you're going to want to like do some research on this because you want to make sure that you get one that's like gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free. There's some products out there that have all these things in them that are bad. So there's a product out there that I recommend in the States that is just, there is like gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free. And what you do is you would just put like 5 grams, 10 grams, 15 grams, each scoop's about 5 grams, and then sip that the whole day with your IV magnesium and see if you get a change with that. That can help stabilize the gut, and that fiber, you're feeding your enterocytes or gut cells to the nutrition on that fiber. So I would try that. So simply, like what we just want to do is refine some things. So we want to refine some things, have a conversation, so it goes. So I would incorporate nuts, and I would, whatever nuts you like, right, at night and during the day. And if you get up, just take your blood sugar and see where that's at, just so you can analyze that.
Right.
And then add the fiber to your IV drip and see if we get a change on your gut, if we can stop the alternating constipation, diarrhea. And then 2, did I ever recommend, Martha, that you gargle?
Yes,
Okay.
but I haven't. I did at the beginning, but I have now recently forgotten all about that. Yes.
And I would just try and tell you to start gargling, and you'll see if we can strengthen that vagus nerve that goes down to your gut, and see if we get some changes.
Okay. That I can do. That's.
And it looks like here, did you add some salt? You added some salt to your drinks then too? Okay. Did you notice, because I didn't look at all your past blood pressure, did you notice your blood pressure rise on that?
Yeah. Did you notice on the new?
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
It looks like it's especially the one that's supposed to be over 80.
Yeah, the bottom. Yeah.
Very close to that. Most of the time, she's in that range.
Yeah, and what was it before?
It was low. It was on the lower side. The lower number was always in the 60s. Was around the 60s, 70s, and
yeah, gosh, this is incredible. Yeah, this is amazing. Yeah, it's like your blood pressures. I mean, I'm just getting excited, like looking at this stuff, man, because it's like you went with all the protocol and these simple things. It's not like it was complex. It just need to be put together. Like blood pressure is completely overlooked. And like, this is like, I look at this blood pressure again. I didn't like look at the past stuff, but if you say it was in the 60s, like obviously I believe you. Yeah, this is like, I mean, this is ideal blood pressure, in my opinion. It's great.
It's just a quarter. I put a quarter spoon of the Himalayan salt in
Yeah.
the drip. Yeah, and it's made a difference.
Yeah, it's huge difference. I mean, have you felt like your brain's better since you've had the salt? You feel like your just cognition's better?
Yes, definitely. I feel very clear in the head. I can do a proper conversation, and I don't feel that fog in the head anymore. I just get this after about 3 hours being perhaps in a busy area or having done shopping, then I get this pain coming up from the spine and then in the head. But I'm thinking that perhaps just carrying on with what I'm doing, maybe adding a bit of magnesium still, that it's just a matter of time, that because the pain in my body is so much less, and it's now just the head, that would gradually improve.
Yeah. With that, so if you're out in busy places and there's a lot of like, do you drive at all? Do you drive?
No, I'm not driving because the anxiety still, I'm a little bit nervous about that.
Yeah. So if you're out in busy places, do you get worn down? You get fatigued quicker?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that definitely has to do with like your cerebellum in the back of your head.
Yes.
So
feels like that part of the
Yeah.
brain is.
So what we should do is we should just schedule, and I'd like to do that like this week because I have time this week. If we could do a neurological exam, and then I'll give you some exercises to strengthen that part of your brain, and then we can see. So yeah, so we'll do a neurological exam, and then we'll have another conversation. Like we'll schedule something out like in 8 weeks. So then you can apply these exercises, apply the dietary changes, and then see if we can tweak some stuff up. But I'm really excited. Like, I think this is awesome. Like, this is like really, really great. Like you did everything and the thing is like, you rewatch the videos, you watch the videos, the podcast. I mean, you guys have consumed a lot of content, and it's just like repetition, like going to that pain thing, like all the stuff in that pain seminar, like I've sent that to you, but it's just packaged in a different little form, right? It's like repetition. I said it a little bit different this way. So then it's just like, this is how healing happens. I'm so happy. It's awesome.
The other thing that made a lot of sense was the video on the brain inflammation.
Yeah.
We watched that one. Yeah. And I definitely think a lot of my mom's fatigue is her brain is inflamed. Does that make sense?
Maybe also because the gut isn't completely healed, because the information on your video also said that the gut causes the brain inflammation.
Yeah.
So
you're retaining information. That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Then the inflammation in the head.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it could be just too that, that at a certain point that just given like the age and our ability to heal, like your mitochondria just kind of fail out, and and then that's when people like crash. So the thing would be to try and train some of these things and get the mitochondria functioning better. Do you do any brain games? Do you do any like apps or any puzzles or?
No.
Okay. So you got to start working your brain. So that's the next thing here. Natasha, you want to write, there's like Lumosity. There's an app called Lumosity, like Lumosity, LUMOSITY or something like that. But this is a brain game. You just want to start stimulating your brain. My mom plays this game all the time, this number game. I don't know, I forget the name of it. Zuka, or it's a number game. What is it? Sudoku? Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Okay. So this is something this is the next thing. If you want to take your brain to the next health, we need to start exercising it now. Your physiology is working good. We just start exercising some of these pathways, like these balance exercises I'll show you. Yeah. And then the next thing is like actual stimulation, like cognition. So Lumosity is a really good app. It's a subscription membership, but it keeps track of your score, and then the games get more and more difficult. So we're going to start to stimulate your brain, because when we stimulate your brain, that's when the mitochondria, we also stimulate the mitochondria. Right now, I do think that your fatigue is brain based. Like your brain gets fatigued out, then it starts going down your back. You get brain fog, brain fatigue. If you're driving, like all the stimulation with the driving, like that is all like brain based stimulation.
Yeah. And you don't think that I should stop with the hormones?
Okay, I was just looking at that here, and so did you get the progesterone? Is that right?
Okay, so we got the wild yam progesterone, and that made a difference.
That I've been using for quite a while, and I had no side effects from that at all. And you definitely started sleeping better after you took progesterone.
Yeah, I think you should take it. I think these hormones are super critical. I mean, there's been research that's shown is like, do people age because the numbers getting more, they're aging, or is it because the testosterone or the hormones go down and then you start to age, right? So as your hormones drop, then you age. So if you can restore some of these natural amount of hormones, then the aging process will be more stable. Like women with progesterone and estradiol, men with testosterone. So all these things are like youthful hormones, as long as you apply them in an application that God put, that would be the normal amount of a healthy, like let's say 40-year-old person. You don't want to like super dose or anything like that. So I think you should stay on them because it's working. You feel better. taking them. So that tells you that that's a mechanism that was deficient, right? So if you take something and you get better, that's like a huge light going off, like that mechanism was deficient and now it's not. So with the DHEA, I mean, you could play around with that. When are you taking the DHEA?
The
DHEA.
Yeah, the 1/3 capsule.
I take it in the morning.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've stuck to a third of it, because I don't know if it was the reason why I was getting headaches, but after I'd taken one, I started waking up with headaches.
Mhm.
So I thought just to cut it back and wait and see until I spoken to you.
Yeah. So I would tell you that you maybe just want to stop it and just stop it for 3 or 4 days or 5 days and see if you get a change. And if the headache goes away, then I tell you that, there's a correlation, right? So then you could even try and cut the dose down more, or maybe you want to take the dose at night. So you can play around with it. So there's a lot of things that could be still like refined and playing around with. Just because I say you should take something at a certain amount of time doesn't mean like that's the best for your body. That's where you guys can play around with some of this formula now.
Okay.
I definitely see an improvement in mom's strength since she's been taking the DHEA, and also in her skin.
Yeah.
I see an improvement.
And I definitely the muscle tone I think also improved since
That's incredible. I mean that's so awesome. I mean, because the DHEA will go to testosterone. So I mean, women need testosterone, men need testosterone. It's just not a male hormone. So that DHEA is up senior, and then that will come down to produce testosterone. So you're probably getting a little upkick in your testosterone, and testosterone is for memory and brain and skin and all that stuff. So you're on a winning formula at this point. It's just like refining it, and
maybe my body's just getting used to it.
Yeah. I would tell you I would tell you, I know it's kind of like if you feel like your muscle tone is better, your skin's better. Yeah, I would tell you just stop it and just see if there's a correlation with the headache. If there's not, then you know that that's not the case, right? That's what I would do. And then let's say you stop it, and your headaches go away, right? So then there's a correlation. Then it's a matter of, okay, now do you feel the benefit that you were receiving, better muscles, skin, that kind of thing? Does that outweigh the problem? So if that's the case, then there's a couple things, like instead of taking a third, maybe you cut the third in half, and maybe you try and take it at night. So there's things that can be fine-tuned. But if you definitely feel like you got more muscle tone and your skin's better, that's a huge benefit for taking, a supplement.
Yeah, I feel a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Definitely stronger. Oh, yeah, and then maybe I think that is all that I would say that I still suffer from.
Okay.
But otherwise, I feel I'm not depressed or that. I just get that slight anxiety, panicky feeling when I get tired. Otherwise, I'm well. Just a little concerned about this virus, this coronavirus, and people family members are all taking this ivermectin.
Ivermectin. Yeah, I don't know much about it, to be honest with you. I mean, it's definitely a hell of a better choice than getting the jab.
Yeah.
I think if you get the jab, it's going to be bad news for you.
Yes, we listened to that video as well. That was very interesting. That I could see that is exactly what happened to me too. That
because mom had COVID.
Oh, did you get the shot? Did you get the shot?
No.
Okay. Oh, you had the COVID, and then you probably had an autoimmune disease that spiraled. Yeah, probably. Yeah, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Like when people watch the videos, like, yeah, that like makes sense to me. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Does the fact that I had COVID and I had it quite badly, would that be protective? I can't see, because they say that is not, you should still have the jab. But to me, it doesn't make sense, because if my body must be better, stronger for having COVID than if I had gotten just the jab.
The jab is a joke. I mean, that's my opinion. I think it's what Pfizer makes like $200 million a day on that thing. It's like, so when you look at that vaccination, like they're only like they're putting the spike, the little spike thing on the 𝗏𝗏2 in you, right? It's just a little spike. Like your own immune system is seeing that whole entire virus and putting antibodies against the whole thing, not just some little spiky thing, you know? So, yeah, I mean, there's a whole bunch of unknowns, but I would definitely say that you have you had the COVID, you have the antibodies, you're protected. I think because you had all these other things going on that what made your body susceptible. Now you have the antibodies against COVID, and it probably turned against your body, and now you had autoimmune disease, and that started attacking your brain, tissue, muscles, and that's why the condition you're feeling. But then with the program, that's what we're kind of like down regulating that whole process there.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you'd want to even mess with that ivermectin, in my opinion. I don't know.
I'm quite afraid to take anything because of previous experience with the antibiotics. I tend to want to rather stay away from anything that could put me back where I was.
Yeah, I don't blame you for sure.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead.
I couldn't go through that a second time. I couldn't bear that.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. Yeah. So let's do this. If you can, let me just look at my schedule. If you could, and Natasha, you have the link to make the schedule, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if you could make it tomorrow at the same time at 10 a.m. Central Time, whatever time it is for you, and then we can go through this neurological exam.
Okay.
So
it's a Fluoroquinolone. It's the same. I booked the same.
Yeah, the same call. Now, what we're going to need though is we're going to need some we're going to need like 10 feet where I can see where I can see you walk.
Okay.
So the camera, you should have the camera. I don't know what you guys are using right now, but it should be like this way versus this way, just so I can see the whole body, right? So then we'll do that. So you have to walk back and forth. I mean, it's going to take maybe like 15, 20 minutes. If you have a chair, you have a swivel chair?
No.
No swivel chair.
No swivel chair. Okay. All right, then we'll just work around that. So yeah, if you could just schedule tomorrow, we'll go through some quick exams and just see if there's any exercises we can give you that will help. Do you get car sickness at all? No. Okay, no car. And you've never had any problem with car sickness at all?
I did as a child, but I'm not now.
Okay. That's all I have for us, ladies, unless you got some other things here.
No, we're very, very happy with that.
Great. All right. So tomorrow I have an opening, same time. So grab that now, and then I'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you very much.
All right. Ciao, ladies. Bye-bye.
Bye.